The devil does indeed exist, but his form is far from the traditional depictions we commonly associate with him. Nikola Tesla, the brilliant inventor of his era, once shared a remarkable story so extraordinary that he never made it public. Instead, Tesla only confided in his close friend Mark Twain, one of the greatest American writers of all time. This conversation took place shortly before Twain's death in 1910, when he was 75 and Tesla was 54. Despite their age difference, the two men shared a profound friendship rooted in mutual respect and shared interests. According to rumors, Twain was so struck by Tesla's words that he passed them on to his daughter Laria as he lay on his deathbed. The story, shrouded in mystery, has never been fully revealed. It remains a secret to this day, with no one knowing what parts are truth and what are fiction. Tesla himself chose not to elaborate on the details. Mark Twain, famed for his satirical wit, began to contemplate death more deeply in the final years of his life. His works often depicted God as a stern judge or as an indifferent observer. He openly criticized the Christian church and questioned its teachings. Yet as Twain neared death, he, like many others on the threshold of the afterlife, found himself contemplating what might lie beyond the physical world. It was in these moments of deep philosophical reflection with Tesla that some of the most profound and enigmatic questions were discussed. One day, during a casual conversation, Tesla shared an experience he had never before divulged. It was a revelation that left a lasting impact on him. However, there are no written records of this conversation. When Twain, whose real name was Samuel Clemens, was on his deathbed, he passed the story along to his daughter, Laria. These words became a form of legacy, preserved only in memories and never committed to paper. Tesla, an extraordinary and enigmatic inventor, astounded those around him with his abilities from an early age. His capacity to visualize future inventions and his unique perception of the world amazed even the most skeptical. He famously slept only 2 hours a day, and his incredible memory allowed him to retain even the smallest details after just one encounter. Yet behind his talents were significant struggles. In 1907, Tesla found himself in dire financial straits. His debts for the hotel he lived in and the enormous costs of his experiments led him to despair. Despite these hardships, Tesla continued his research and his visits to Wardenclyffe, where he connected devices emitting high-frequency electrical discharges to his head, became legendary. He once admitted in an interview, "I let 150,000 volts pass through my head." Tesla claimed that these experiments induced a state similar to lethargic sleep close to the edge of life and death, accompanied by a slowdown in metabolism, yet his body continued to function. On one of these mystical evenings, when time seemed to stand still and the boundaries of reality blurred, Tesla found himself alone once more with the labyrinths of his mind. In an attempt to calm the restlessness caused by his failures and the chaos of his thoughts, he briefly escaped the worries that plagued him: financial struggles, undervalued inventions, and mounting debts. In this state of heightened awareness, everything around him seemed distant, as if his consciousness had shifted to a different reality. And then something new emerged, something unknown. It felt like a quiet but persistent presence at the edge of his awareness, as though he were being watched, but not by eyes, instead by something inexplicable. He spent some time trying to identify the source of this sensation. His mind, still fully in control, encountered something foreign, a thought that didn't belong to him. Yet Tesla felt no fear. A scientist by nature, he was accustomed to exploring the unknown. Soon, he discerned what was observing him: an unusual, luminous entity, distinct from anything he had ever seen before. It was neither blinding nor bright, but it stood out from its surroundings. This light seemed alive and appeared to have its own will. Tesla couldn't explain it, but one thing was clear: he was facing a being that transcended the material world. While people commonly depict the devil as a horned creature, Tesla's vision presented him with a glowing cloud. He couldn't comprehend it, but it didn't seem to embody evil as commonly understood. It neither threatened nor invaded his mind, but rather appeared isolated and independent. Tesla's curiosity outweighed any fear. he decided to take the risk and attempt contact. He focused on reaching out to this light and understanding its nature. A fascinating symbolic parallel emerged. In various cultures, the name Lucifer is associated with the bearer of light, the Latin word lux, meaning light, and phosphoros in Greek mythology, symbolizing the morning star Venus. However, in Christian tradition, Lucifer has become synonymous with a fallen angel and Satan. Yet Tesla's encounter with the light was far removed from the conventional image of Lucifer. This light was not evil nor good. It was something entirely beyond human perception. The entity remained a mystery, one that Tesla could not fully explain. He sought to connect with it, and through this connection, Tesla's consciousness briefly merged with the entities, allowing them to observe the world through each other's eyes. He felt the immense power behind his own inventions. He saw how they could reshape the world not only for good, but also as a source of unimaginable destruction. This revelation shook him to the core. Tesla realized that his inventions carried great responsibility. While they had the potential to save lives, they also had the potential to destroy them. The entity, the devil, did not interfere with his thoughts or direct him. It simply allowed him to see the future and left the choice in his hands. This moment became a turning point for Tesla, shaping his view on the role of science in humanity's future. The communication ended abruptly, leaving Tesla in shock. His body trembled and he felt himself falling to the ground. When he opened his eyes, the world around him appeared alien. His heart raced. His clothes were soaked in sweat and panic gripped his mind. It felt as if he had awakened from a nightmare, but the sensations lingered even as reality set in. Tesla's photographic memory allowed him to recall every detail of this terrifying experience, which he pondered throughout his life, trying to comprehend and explain what had occurred. His memories became an impenetrable labyrinth, one from which there was no escape. Many believe Nikola Tesla had the potential to radically change the world. His groundbreaking ideas, such as wireless energy transmission through the atmosphere and the concept of death rays, seemed incredibly promising. Yet none of these technologies ever came to fruition. It is known that Tesla destroyed all records of these projects, leaving us to wonder, were these inventions too dangerous, or were they simply underestimated by his contemporaries? The mystery remains unsolved. Tesla's life was a test as the devil tempted him with the promise of power that could change the world. This temptation could have led to disaster, but as Tesla himself claimed, he resisted. He turned away from the allure of power and focused on what he believed to be the true path. Today, he is remembered not as a man who succumbed to the dark side, but as one of the greatest geniuses in history. In a conversation with Mark Twain, Tesla revealed that he believed in the existence of God. He also stated that the devil fulfilled his role by tempting people, testing their spirits, and revealing their true nature. Tesla further shared his belief that death is not the end of existence. He was convinced that no human being who ever lived truly disappears. They remain with us in some form, though invisible to our eyes. Tesla's revelations remain enigmatic. People often attribute their actions to external forces, claiming to be under the influence of the devil. However, the suffering of humanity stems from its own choices. No one forces us to ignore the plight of a starving animal, to litter the streets, or to turn a blind eye to injustice. Perhaps the devil serves as an overseer sent to test humanity's moral resilience. His task may be to uncover the depths of human nature and to understand the essence of our souls. I look into the future and see what is not yet, Tesla wrote in his diary. He contemplated God as the most powerful force in the universe. What led this great inventor, once an atheist in his youth, to believe in a higher power? Tesla, a man who had endured great struggles and stood on the brink of death, wrote words in his diary that transformed his worldview. He believed that something greater than himself guided his work. He even believed that the souls of those who had lived before him continued to exist in another form. Tesla often emphasized that his discoveries were not the result of his intellect alone, but rather the result of inspirations that seemed to come from beyond. He described these inspirations as a unique ability to see into the future and find answers to the most difficult questions. The first of these inspirations occurred in 1882, while Tesla was on a walk. He envisioned the alternating current motor, its design and function in vivid detail. Without paper, he drew the diagram in the sand, and that moment marked a turning point in his life. From then on, the inspirations came more frequently. Fascinated by these experiences, Tesla sought to uncover their origins. He consulted psychologists and scientists, but none could offer a satisfactory explanation. Eventually, Tesla began his own investigation. At one point, he speculated that the ideas came from an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. However, years later, while living in America, Tesla rejected this hypothesis, realizing it did not align with his understanding of reality. It wasn't until many years later that Tesla found the answer that changed his perspective. One ordinary day, he woke up with a profound new inspiration. In that moment, he understood that all his discoveries were a gift from God. Through these inspirations, Tesla had received undeniable proof of a higher power guiding him. Finally, the day has come when I have realized that God exists, he wrote in his diary, deeply moved. Overcome with gratitude, he decided to visit an Orthodox church to express his thanks. But as life often does, it presented an unexpected twist. The taxi driver, unfamiliar with the location of the church, became part of a strange and almost comical journey through New York. As they searched for the church, Tesla's frustration grew. But in the end, after much confusion and searching, they found it, the Orthodox Church of St. Nicholas on 97th Street. In that moment, Tesla felt that this was a final sign sent from above. Tesla's life and philosophy continued to inspire. He epitomized the pursuit of knowledge and innovation, yet he also understood the moral responsibility that comes with such power. His example teaches us that true greatness lies not only in technological advancement, but also in adhering to ethical principles and societal responsibility. In a world increasingly driven by technology, Tesla reminds us that science and spirituality do not need to be at odds, but can in fact complement one another. In this ever-evolving world, it is crucial that we do not lose sight of the deeper meaning of human experience and values. Tesla's legacy urges us to reflect on the connection between knowledge and spirituality, reminding us that both must be pursued with wisdom and responsibility. May we continue to walk the path of knowledge guided by the light of both intellect and compassion. If you've enjoyed this journey into the fascinating life and philosophy of Nikola Tesla, make sure to subscribe to Band Interview for more thought-provoking stories, untold histories, and exclusive insights. Join our community and be the first to dive deep into the minds of the world's most intriguing figures, discover hidden truths, and explore ideas that challenge conventional thinking. Don't miss out, hit that subscribe button now, and stay tuned for more.